Welcome back. This is C. Ankit Kumar Jain, your IDT Mind Mapper. In the previous session, we had understood the scope of supply, which was for consideration. Now, in this session, audio podcast, we will be understanding the scope of supply, where the supply has been made without consideration. That can also be called as deemed supply. Correct. So this has been provided in section 7 subsection 1 clause C, which states that activities that are specified in schedule number 1, that means these can also be called as exception to section 7(1)(a), because they were talking only about the activities for consideration. Correct. So 7(1)(c) specifically speaks about activities specified in the schedule number 1 that can also be called as an exception to 7(1)(a), but shall be in the course or furtherance of business. Very, very important. These activities should also be in the course or furtherance of business, and hence they can be classified as deemed supply. Correct. So once we read the schedule number 1, this has paragraph number 1, which talks about permanent transfer. Whenever you talk about this permanent transfer, this can be of business assets on which ITC has been availed on such assets. Correct. So any kind of business asset, that can be capital asset, current asset, stock, unexpired rights, services, etc. Any kind of business assets on which ITC has been availed, and if such asset is permanently transferred without consideration, then it is going to be called as your deemed supply. Para number 2 speaks about supply between. Correct. So supply between related person or distinct persons would also be called as deemed supply if they are made without consideration. So para number 2 talks about supply between related person. Now what do you mean by related person? There can be shareholders, controls each other's business, officer in each other's business, partners in each other's business. Employer employee relationship is called as related person. Also family, that is the current family, that is direct family, that is spouse and children, will be always forming part of the family. Parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, only if they are dependent, then only they will be forming part of the family. As well as sole selling agent is also a related person. Correct. So three categories of related person. One is any kind of shareholders, controls each other's business, officers, partners, employer. That is the scope. That if you read the first words, that is S for shareholders, C for control, O for officer, P for partners, employer and employee. That is scope is the word which is very vast for this related person. So scope plus family plus sole agents. In family, spouse and children are automatically included. Parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters will be included only if they're related, if they're dependent on the supplier itself. Correct. And sole selling agent would also be classified as related person. So any transaction between scope, family and sole selling agent, if it is for without consideration, then it will be classified as your deemed supply. Similarly, supply between distinct person, that has been defined in section number 25. One pan number but two different registrations. If there is a transaction between those two different GST registrations, and if it is for without consideration, then also it will be classified as deemed supply. For example, stock transfer of new or used capital asset, that is laptops, when employees are transferred from one branch to another, bill to ship to transaction, etc., will be classified under this particular section 7(1)(c), deemed supply, where the transaction or supply is between distinct person, that is one PAN number and two different registration. Correct. There is an exception to this related party transaction, that is no doubt employer and employee relationship without consideration will fall under deemed supply, but a gift to employee by an employer up to rupees 50,000 per employee per annum is exempted. Correct. It is not covered under this deemed supply. Above 50,000, the whole amount, that is, if suppose even 51,000 is given or 55,000 is given, the whole value will be considered as a value of supply of 55,000 rupees. Correct. So perquisites to employees provided under the terms of employment, that is contracts, are not gifted. they are part and parcel of the packages and shall not be subject to GST. Example, rent-free accommodation. If in my contract of agreement itself it is stated that rent-free agreement would be provided to you, that means company is going to bear the rent for you. That means it is a transaction without consideration. But because it has been mentioned in the terms of contract itself, they will not be forming part of the deemed supply. Correct. So exception for this related party transaction is that no doubt employer employee relationship is of a deemed supply, but gift to employees up to rupees 50,000 per annum per employee is not covered under this deemed supply. Correct. Now third para of schedule number 1 speaks about supply of goods between. Now here we are talking specifically about goods and not services. Supply of goods between a principal and an agent, or an agent and a principal, that is a consignment agent. That is, the agent is issuing invoice in his own name and not in the name of the principal. Correct. So any transaction between a principal and an agent, or an agent or a principal, and if it is of the consignment based an agent, that means the agent itself is giving the invoice in his own name and not on the name of what, the principal, then this transaction between this principal and agent, or agent and principal, even though without consideration, will be classified as a deemed supply. Correct. Para 4 talks about import of services from related person, that is outside India, or own establishment outside India, if it is for without consideration, and if it is in the course or furtherance of business, then also they will be classified as deemed supply. Now when you read this 71B and 71C, this import of services, let us quickly understand again 71B. It spoke about import of services for a consideration, whether it is for business or for non-business, that was not the criteria. If it is for consideration, they will fall under the scope of supply. And once you read this 71C, it talks about import of services for without consideration, if and only if it is in the course or furtherance of business, and it has been received from related person or from own establishment from outside India, then only it will be called as deemed supply. That means if you are receiving, importing any services from a unrelated party or not from the own establishment, and if it is not in the course or furtherance of business, then they are not going to be covered under this deemed supply. Right. So as far as deemed supply concept is covered, section 71C, it speaks about certain activities which are mentioned in para 1, 2, 3 and 4 of schedule number 1, that is permanent transfer of business assets, and second, supply between related person and distinct person. Exception is gift to employees. Supply of goods, only goods and not services, between the principal and agent, or agent and principal, and that means it is talking only about consignment agent, where the agent is issuing an invoice in his own name. And import of services from related person outside India or own establishment outside India, only and only in the course or furtherance of business, will be classified as deemed supply. Correct, everybody? So this is what is there as far as concept of deemed supply, section 71C is concerned. So in the third podcast and fourth podcast, we have covered the concept or the scope of supply. So till that time, we'll be moving on to the next topic. Right. So take care. Have a great study. Tata. Bye bye.